This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Monday, August 3rd, 2026. I'm Alex Brown. Pendleton-based drone company Electric Jet Aircraft is providing counter-drone safety support during the National Defense Advanced Research Project Agency's Lift Challenge this week. Founder Pete Batar said participating in the event is an opportunity to demonstrate the company's technology to military leaders.
My goal with this is to really build reputation and build relationship with the Department of War as a whole. I think when they get to see it in action, I think they'll get it more.
The company's role in the challenge is not to compete, but to ensure the event remains safe by intercepting any aircraft that veers off course or loses control. Governor Mike Braun's office today announced the launch of Qualys Engineering Plastics, a custom plastics compounding company that is setting up shop in Evansville. Qualys, which was formed by a group of local investors, plans to create more than 30 jobs in its first 5 years of operation. The company did not disclose its financial investment in the operation or when production might begin. Evansville-based sporting goods and recreational equipment manufacturer Escalade is reporting second quarter net income of $9.4 million, up from $1.8 million during the same period last year. CEO Patrick Griffin said the growth was driven by strength in the company's safety, table tennis, and basketball categories, with continued momentum in archery. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Thanks for listening to this IBJ Media podcast. You're probably going to remember this ad. Do you know why? Podcast advertising works. 85% of listeners recalled hearing an ad during a podcast, and 70% of podcast listeners have acted after hearing an ad. So whether you're looking to be heard across the entire IBJ Media podcast network, sponsor one of our shows, or just start with a 30-second ad, IBJ Media can help. Contact advertise@ibj.com to learn more.
Republican State Senator Chris Garton of Charlestown announced today that he is seeking election to the role of President Pro Tem in the Indiana Senate. IIB's Aubriana Herron has more.
The move comes after current Senate President Roderick Bray announced Friday that he will not seek re-election to the leadership position in November. Bray, whose term runs through 2028, will remain in the Senate. Garton was Senate Majority Floor Leader until June, when he announced he would resign due to disagreements with leadership. He and Bray came out on different sides of whether Indiana should move to redistrict the state's congressional maps in the middle of the decade. In December, Bray was among 21 state Republican senators who joined 10 Democrats in voting down a mid-decade redistricting bill pushed by President Donald Trump. The effort would have created new voting maps, giving Republicans a likely advantage in all 9 Indiana congressional districts for the 2026 election. Indiana voting maps have historically been redrawn after a new census every decade. Republicans currently hold 7 Indiana congressional seats, while Democrats hold 2. Garton was vocally in support of redistricting. He also announced his plans to appoint State Senator Eric Cook of Bedford as floor leader. The two plan to meet with caucus members over the coming weeks to understand their legislative priorities. Aubriana Herron, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
ADM plans to upgrade its oilseed processing facility in Frankfort as part of a broader effort to increase production capacity amid strong demand for renewable fuels and other vegetable oil markets. The Chicago-based company said the Frankfort project will include storage improvements and optimization, as well as multiple equipment upgrades. The work is expected to be completed in late 2028. ADM did not disclose how much it plans to invest in the Indiana facility or how much additional capacity the Frankfort improvements would create. The Indianapolis Colts have begun their final training camp at Droplight Grand Park Sports Campus in Westfield, but officials say momentum around sports tourism is showing no signs of slowing down in Hamilton County. Speaking on Inside Indiana Business Television, Hamilton County Sports Authority Assistant Director of Sports Operation Gabe Amick said the county is transforming into a full-fledged sports economy.
Our bread and butter is the weekend sport travel, but pulling off some of these one-off events that we're looking at, from NFL flag football for last weekend, to some of the events that we have coming up definitely speaks accurate to that.
County officials estimate the economic impact of sporting events totaled about $70 million in 2025. Indiana State Fair Commission Executive Director Ray Allison is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now on the IBJ Media app or your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.